Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, today we are diving deep into a scenario that military planners are always preparing for, but hope never ever happens. A massive, coordinated U.S.-Israeli strike on Iran.
So let's set the scene. The date is February 28th, 2026. In the middle of the night, that fragile peace in the Middle East is just completely shattered. A huge, perfectly synchronized military offensive against Iran is underway.
But, this wasn't just about blowing up military hardware. Not at all. This operation had a much more specific and, frankly, audacious goal. So, what was the ultimate target?
To decapitate the regime. Yep, you heard that right. The number one objective, especially for the Israeli-led part of the strike, was the assassination of Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei.
This whole joint campaign actually had two names. For the Israelis, their part of it was Operation Roar the Lion. And for the American side, it was dubbed Operation Epic Fury.
So the primary target was the absolute nerve center of the Iranian government, Khamenei's compound, right in Tehran. And immediately you get this classic fog of war. The Israeli Defense Forces put out a statement saying the target was neutralized, which is military speak for killed, and that they even found his body. But then Iran's state media fires back saying, yes, the compound was hit, but the supreme leader wasn't even there.
Okay, so the big question is, how on earth do you pull off something this massive, this perfectly in sync? Well, the entire operation really hinged on one single, devastatingly precise military tactic. It's a concept called time on target. And the idea is to create this moment of total systemic shock. You've got weapons being launched from ships, from submarines, from jets, all at different times, from different places, and they are all mathematically choreographed to hit dozens of targets across the country at the exact same second.
I mean, just try to imagine the complexity here. You've got jets screaming in from hundreds of miles away, cruise missiles literally hugging the ground to stay hidden, and bombs dropping from way up high from stealth aircraft. The math for every single weapon has to be absolutely perfect for them all to land at the exact same instant. And the amount of military might they brought to the party, it was just immense. We're talking multiple U.S. Navy carrier strike groups, whole fleets of destroyers, stealth bombers, cruise missile-armed submarines. They were projecting overwhelming power from the sea, the air, and even from under the waves.
Okay, but here's the thing. What about Iran's air defenses? They're known to have some pretty advanced Russian-supplied systems. They're supposed to be a real problem. And yet they were just completely bypassed. They were taken out of the game before the first missile even landed.
Yeah, that's really the critical question, isn't it? How do you throw hundreds of missiles and planes at a country that has a sophisticated air defense network and basically meet zero resistance? The answer isn't about explosions. It's all electronic. This is where it gets really smart. The U.S. set this brilliant electronic trap. They launched hundreds of these tiny air-launched decoys. Now, if you're an Iranian radar operator, your screen just lights up like a Christmas tree. It looks like a massive wave of fighter jets is screaming right for you. But it's not real. It's a ghost army, designed to make you panic and look the wrong way. So while the Iranians are busy chasing these ghosts, their systems are getting pumped full of bogus data, basically blinding them. This whole electronic assault just kicked the door wide open. It created a safe highway in the sky for the real strike force to fly right through, totally unseen. So with Iran's electronic eyes and ears pretty much shut down, the physical part of the attack could begin. And it didn't just trickle in. It came in three distinct, absolutely overwhelming waves.
Wave 1 was all about robotic precision, launched from the sea. You've got dozens of Tomahawk cruise missiles taking off from destroyers. These things fly super low, hugging the terrain to stay off what's left of the radar. Their targets weren't troops or tanks. They were the very radar sites and command bunkers that formed the backbone of Iran's entire air defense network.
Next up, the heavy hitters. You've got the B-2 Spirit stealth bombers going after the most hardened targets, like deep underground nuclear bunkers. And right behind them, you have squadrons of F-15E Strike Eagles. These things are nicknamed bomb trucks for a reason. They can carry a ridiculous amount of firepower. Their job? Hunt down and destroy any mobile ballistic missile launchers before they even have a chance to fire back. And finally, the Navy's floating air bases just unleashed their power. F-18 Super Hornets took to the skies on what are called SEAD missions. That's suppression of enemy air defenses. Basically, they're playing whack-a-mole, hunting down any last radar site that dares to turn back on. And this whole incredible air ballet is being directed by these planes called E-2D Hawkeyes. They're literally the quarterbacks in the sky, coordinating everything. But, this was never going to be a one-sided affair. Iran, even after that devastating first strike, still has a massive arsenal of thousands of ballistic missiles and drones, and they wasted no time launching their own retaliatory strike, which they codenamed Operation Truthful Promise 4. And the consequences were felt almost instantly across the entire region. Missiles started flying towards U.S. bases all over the Middle East. Al Dhafra Air Base in the UAE got hit. One person was killed by shrapnel. The Navy's 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain was a direct target. Sirens were wailing all across Israel as their air defense systems lit up the night sky over Tel Aviv, knocking down incoming rockets. The whole region was now officially on a war footing. And that brings us to the big, scary unknown. Look, the coordinated assault might have achieved its tactical goals, but in doing so, it lit a powder keg across the entire Middle East. With those first shots fired, the most important question is no longer, how did this start? It's, how in the world does this end?